我世を超える願を立て祀るとなまんだ。I will give rise to vows that are world surpassing. なまんだ。皆さん、おはようございます。It sure is early. Despite being so early, I'm going to start with a quiz. How many of you recognize the passage that I just quoted from? I'll give you a hint. That's the way it's read in Japanese, but read in Chinese it would be Gagon Choseigan. How many recognize this now? Yay, people raise their hands. That's the very first line to the Juseige, which was what we chanted as part of this morning's service. But before I get into that, let me just talk to you about a little bit of what happened to me yesterday. Yesterday, I was so depressed that I ended up going to sleep at 8:30 last night. And the reason why I was so upset was because yesterday, I was here at the temple until relatively late, and I have all of this chocolate, and I was really hoping to get a right twixt. But I looked inside, and all there were left. I had a whole handful of left twixts, but I wanted a right twixt. And so I looked at this handful of chocolate and I said, that's not what I want. So I was getting hungry, so reluctantly I opened one and said, oh, okay, I'll have a left twixt. And I ate that, knowing that it wasn't going to be as good as if it was a right twixt. How many of you think that sounded silly or dumb? Now, why do you think it sounded silly or dumb? Huh? Yes, why silly, silly, willy, willy? What? Because they taste the same. Why do they taste the same? That's right. There is really no difference between a right twixt and a left twixt. And so the thing that I got depressed over was very, very silly. Now, obviously there is a difference between the two. One is on the right and one is on the left. But if you flip them around, then the one that was on the left is on the right now, and the one that was on the right is on the left now. So there really is no real significant difference. But that's the way we kind of live our lives. That's why Amida Buddha had to give rise to this vow that is world surpassing. Because in our world, we do make a difference between a right twixt and a left twixt. From the Buddha's point of view, there really is no significant difference. They are different, but not significantly so. Not so much difference that the Buddha would say, no, I prefer this one over that one. There is no such difference in terms of the vow of the Buddha. Every human being is a human being. Every human being has the right to live their lives in joy, to live their lives in freedom, to know that their lives have meaning and value. Every life is beautiful, just like if you like dark chocolate and caramel, and a cookie center, every twixt is delicious as well. And so this is the vow that Amida Buddha established for each and every one of us, so that we can come to understand that we do not need to distinguish ourselves from others. Every life is just as precious and rare. It is this life that Kujo Takeko-san also was able to recognize in her life, which is why we continue to celebrate and honor her life like this annually. When she was alive, during her time, there were a lot of differences, distinctions that were made based on things like gender. A woman was not considered equal to a man when she lived. But despite that, she continued to shine. She continued to live her life in joy, despite all of the tragedies that befell her. In helping to form the Buddhist Women's Association, she helped to show an entire nation just how powerful a woman can be. She helped an entire nation understand that just because you are female does not mean that you are any less human than someone else. She was able to show an entire nation that it does not matter what your gender is. If everyone can appreciate the meaning and value of a human life, then it doesn't matter whether you are male or female or however else you might identify yourself, that every life has the potential and ability to help another person to discover their potential and ability. She, and I'm going to use this backwards expression, was just a woman. Yet she was someone who was able to found an entire organization that survives even today. She is someone who was able to found a hospital and through her writings was able to completely fund a free clinic, the first of its kind in Japan. That free clinic still has its doors open to everyone and anyone that will come through its doors, still funded by the same source. The collection of poems known as Muyuge was published, and all the proceeds were donated to fund this free clinic as it continues to do so today. All of this because a woman understood the real meaning of the vow of the Buddha, a vow that says that I will give rise to vows that are world surpassing. Shinran Shonin, the founder of the Shinshu, also heard this vow, and because of this, he wrote things like, the true words embraced and not forsaken, the rare true Dharma, hear and reflect, and let there be no wavering. These words too, Kujo Takeko-san heard, and because of this, she lived her entire life trying to share the Nembutsu teaching, and in sharing this Nembutsu teaching, helped to have an entire nation, an entire world have hope in knowing that each and every one of us is part of a vow that is world surpassing and rare. With this thought, please allow me to conclude my message. And as a final remark to all of our Dharma School students, because of the Nembutsu, please, please, please live your lives knowing that everyone around you is equally precious and rare. And that when we are able to share our lives with each other, that it just makes all of us